always do that. I'm in that rider. Every time that I go up, it's me that I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm in that rider. Every time that I give what I gotta supply that fire. I supply that fire. What is going on, bookworms, and welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump, the 54th edition. Shout out to Teddy Bruschi. This is a fun, motivational, whimsical, hilarious, stupid podcast that I do every week where I go through my threads, I being Bump, Sean Patrick Cote, certified tradesman in the state of Connecticut, as well as a certified personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and a certified dog by 99.9% of people who know me. An endurance athlete, a vivid gym rat, a doer of all things. And I just hop on here and go through my threads. I bookmark a lot of threads while I'm just scrolling through Twitter, and I never find the time to read them. So I figured the greatest time for me to read them is on a podcast to give out a little bit of my insight from my experience in life. And without further ado, we'll get right into the threads. I want to just really quick give a disclaimer. There may be a sound of smacking of my lips in the recording of these podcasts. What that is, I guess I'll give a little transparency to the show and the host of the show. What that is it's typically 1 to 2 Zyn pouches. Zyn is a nicotine delivery device. I, for one, am a nicotine user. I am. I know. You might have been listening for the last year and thought I might have been the perfect man, but the truth is all revealed. I am an addict, a nicotine addict. I've been ingesting nicotine for 16 years now. Yeah, wow. It's crazy to put a number on things, especially a big number like that. 16 years is a long time. My nicotine habit can drive. And I've gone through many phases, as I got on the quest to be a healthier human being, trying to make the moniker the healthiest man in America an actuality. Started with quitting drinking alcohol, then, drugs, and then foods of sorts. Foods are the only things that I've relapsed on. They're just so damn delectable. Nonetheless, here we are. We're talking about nicotine, another addiction. This one I just can't seem to shake. Out of everything that I've ever quit, I can't quit nicotine. I've just kind of found the healthier alternative to taking it in. Pause. For the time being. Who knows what the developments will become on nicotine Zyn pouches, but for right now, we have the most controversial drug in the world being administered through a form of salts. So I'm getting my sodium intake, which is great because in these hot summer days, you create dew out of your body. You are perspiring, especially for somebody who's a runner. You perspire on an insurmountable basis. Nicotine Dreamin put out a thread. The most controversial drug in the world. Nicotine. It can either ruin your life or make it better. Here's what it does to you. And this is backed by science. And as always, on every single thread on Bookmarks with Bump, the links are always in the description. So I do implore you to follow along. Read along with me. Let's have the first #1 read-along podcast in the United States of America. It could either ruin your life or make it better. Here's what it does to you. Backed by science. There's a nice image of a brain here. Nicotine, no nicotine. When you consume nicotine, there it is right there. It gets absorbed into the bloodstream. It travels to your brain and binds to nicotinic receptors. This binding creates the effect you get from nicotine. Nicotine isn't just something we take. We actually have nicotinic receptors in our brain. This is why we get an effect from the nicotine. Ignore people who tell you nicotine is 100% good or 100% bad. Just like everything, it has benefits and downsides. Here are the most important ones. The pros of nicotine are that it enhances alertness, attention, and focus. It may improve short-term memory. It can elevate mood, give you a mild dopamine boost. There's an appetite suppression effect. It may reduce stress and anxiety short-term. There's a possible neuroprotective effect. It's being studied currently for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. It boosts reaction time and performance in repetitive tasks. Increases wakefulness, mild stimulant. Seems like every shop owner in the world should have an employee with a nicotine addiction. That's what it sounds like. The cons basically are that they're highly addictive. The tolerance builds quickly, so you need more for the same effect. It causes withdrawal. There's irritability, brain fog, and fatigue paired with the withdrawal of nicotine. It's often paired with harmful delivery methods such as smoking and vaping. It can increase heart rate and blood pressure, and is linked to cardiovascular issues, heart disease. It may worsen anxiety or depression long term. It impacts sleep quality, and there's possible DNA damage with long-term use. Oh my God. All right, so these cons definitely sound like possible DNA damage sounds so much worse than appetite suppression. I feel like some of these cons do outweigh the pros. Let's see what we can learn or how we can use nicotine in a healthy and effective way. There are a lot of different ways in which people consume tobacco: pipes, cigars, cigarettes, and how much nicotine each contains. Chewing or dipping tobacco has 88 milligrams per can of chew or dip. Cigarettes are 1.1 milligram to 1.8 per cigarette. Cigars average 13.3 milligrams. Hookah. Man, the hookah bars. I've never been to a hookah bar, but I remember when I was in high school, the hookah was a thing. Like, if somebody had a hookah, that's where you were going to hang out and party. Shout out to the hookah. 145 to 60 minute session equals about a pack of cigarettes and tar and nicotine content. Nicotine cool. Tar, I'm not trying to pave any roads inside of my body. Juul e-cigarettes, 59 milligrams per pod, the equivalent to one pack of cigarettes or 200 puffs. Loose leaf tobacco pouch is 144 milligrams per pouch, so far the highest. A mini cigar is 3.8 per cigar, and a pipe is 5.2 per bowl. Another popular one is Zyn. It's better than smoking, but still very addictive. And it also this is terrible to read. It will also desensitize your dopamine system if you take it often. Nicotine is a vasoconstrictor, so it increases blood pressure and is very addictive, but it also has cognitive benefits. Nicotine increases dopamine, and this improves focus and memory. It can also offset neurodegeneration in Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Nicotine increases dopamine to 150 to 200%. For comparison, cocaine increases at 300%, and amphetamines increases at 1,000%. Yeah, meth is the most addictive drug of all time. However, if you consume nicotine via smoking, it causes a lot of extra downsides. It increases the risk of cancer, and it also negatively affects your brain over time. Nicotine stays in your system for longer than it thinks. It stays in your blood for 10 days as it gets metabolized as cotinine. Saliva is for 4 days and urine is for 7. It usually leaves your system after a week or so, but it depends on how much you use. So, how long does nicotine stay in your system? Hair follicles, 90 days, urine, 10 days. We went over that. How much you use. I'd love to see the studies on that, man. Quitting nicotine causes a lot of withdrawal symptoms such as anxiety, fatigue, and headaches. So what happens after you quit? Day 1 through 5 is a physical withdrawal, which is very hard. 5 through 14, it is leaving your system. It's pretty hard. And then day 30 to 90 is your nicotine receptors returning to normal. You feel good again. Most fully recover after 30 to 90 days, some a bit later. So hey, you want to quit nicotine, go through 3 months of hell. If you want to quit smoking or nicotine, here's some tips. How to quit nicotine or smoking. Set a quit date. Identify triggers. Avoid smoking cues. Find replacement behaviors and use nicotine replacement therapy. Manage cravings. Lean on supportive people and consider counseling. That's a lot to take in at once, okay? So it seems like there are a lot of upsides, but the downsides are that it is everything that it's boosting, it seems like, is something that it's taking away from. The dopamine receptors. The studies to come out on Parkinson's and Alzheimer's are an interesting case to see how nicotine is recepted moving forward and see if there's a healthier alternative to taking it. I'm interested to see what the Zins are doing to people. Because I don't want to be that guy with a patch on my arm. That's the nicotine replacement therapy. I mean, to me, the Zins are the nicotine replacement therapy, but I also don't think I have any plans on getting rid of them, to be quite frank. I mean, I feel a boost when I pop one in, when things are getting rough at work, or honestly, I mean, who knows? Maybe nicotine is the reason for all of my success, my focus, my determination when it comes to completing tasks throughout the day in my career on a day-to-day basis. I'm not quite sure what's keeping me so locked in, despite the fact that I've been working like an absolute madman. At this point, over 1,300 hours before 7 months in the year, and I'm still just dogging it out as I do. Nicotine for me is just I don't know. I feel that relief, that boost. I don't know if it is helping my memory or not, because I do have to remember a lot of things throughout the course of work. But hey, I'm seeing the benefits of it. I don't really see the downsides of it. When I was vaping, and I vaped for a long time, I quit vaping in January of 2023. No, I quit vaping in January of 2024. I remember I was sick, and every time I hit my vape, it made me feel more sick. And at that point, I wanted to get off of the vape and move towards Zens. That's when I first picked them up. And as soon as I stopped vaping, I realized I was producing a lot less mucus. I mean, you're taking in water vapor on a consistent basis. I don't think that's great. Who knows? Maybe there was mold growing in my lungs, but I haven't vaped since, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. It's hard to believe through working the way that I work, I'm able to remain calm at most times on a day-to-day basis. There are crises that happen. There are fires I have to put out. There are personalities I have to handle and deal with, and just not blow up and scream at people when the most obvious answer is always right in front of your face. But a lot of that could be attributed to my nightly session. We all have our vices in life. We all have things that take from us and things that help us on a day-to-day basis. For me, one of my daily medications to, lay my head at rest at night after a long and stressful day of just pushing myself to the limit and being a part of the team and just trying to be a leader on the floor. I'd take a nice 30-minute stretch, and I'd take a little puff from the Puffco and float away. Now, that could be misunderstood. People might hear that and say, you're not sober. People might hear that I smoke weed and think that I'm not as healthy as I claim to be. But I have a thread here that explains the most misunderstood drug in the world. Weed. It can either ruin your life or make it better. Here's what it does to you. Backed by science. Another backed by science. Weed consumption is on the rise. It has increased about 4 times in the last 10 years. Ignore people who tell you weed is 100% good or bad. Just like everything, it has its benefits and downsides. Here are the most important ones. Marijuana, the benefits and dangers. Benefits is that it can relieve pain, nausea, and vomiting, which it does. I want to throw up on a daily basis, and out of disgust of the lack of consideration and self-awareness some people have. It treats asthma and glaucoma. I believe it helps me build my lungs when it comes to running. Maybe it's the reason I'm so endurable. It's an antidepressant. It's an appetite stimulant. It's an anticonvulsant. And it eases tension. The dangers is that it can impair cognitive and fetal development. Don't smoke while you're pregnant, please. We've learned enough, especially from our parents who were baked inside of smoked out bellies. Prolonged use can damage airways or lungs and is possibly addictive. Now, I moved away from smoking flower. I don't smoke a lot of flower. I have a Puffco, which is it's a electronic rig that heats up to a certain temperature where you can burn a concentrated form of THC. And it's a very pure smoke to me. It's a vapor, really. It's another vape device. It's just big and looks out of this world. Anyhow, I felt as I grew older the effects of like smoking weed. For whatever reason, it's not as easy to smoke a blunt as it used to be when I was younger. So once I had that realization, and once I got deeper and deeper into running, I kind of moved to the vape to help me out there. I'll smoke a joint from time to time, but nothing too harsh. I really don't want harsh smoke entering my body. It's a carcinogen. It's not good for your arteries. It's not good for your heart. And I want to keep everything together. But let's move on with the thread. CBD is, about the same as THC. And there's a video that goes on to explain the differences between them. CBD doesn't make you high. THC definitely can get you high. And the differences are simplified. The CBD being non-psychoactive, and the THC does have a psychoactive factor in it. The effects usually last a few hours, but it stays in your body for a long time. In your hair for 90 days, your urine for 3 to 30, your saliva for 24 to 72 hours, and in your blood for 24 to 48. Age matters when it comes to cannabis use. The younger you are, the higher chance that it'll negatively impact your mental health. The effect weed has on you depends on your age, your genetics, and your family history. The percentage of THC relative to CBD is also important. People with ADHD use weed more often, and this is likely because of the dopamine response. Cannabis narrows attention and focus, so it can improve your attention and focus. But the downside is that it negatively affects your memory. So if you're going to have some weed, have some nicotine. This explains why it's popular in the jiu-jitsu world. It helps you focus completely, and it makes you more creative. The downside of weed is how it affects your memory, especially your short-term memory. This is because it reduces activity on the hippocampus. Weed doesn't make you lazy. If you're lazy, it will make you disciplined. If you're disciplined, it won't make you lazy. You see what they say there? My dad had always been like this old school screw the hippies guy. He's the type of guy who's like, no weed, but he'll have a couple brews weekly. My dad has great discernment. My father has a great test of will. He's not a big drinker, but he can party on occasion, which is like, for somebody who is like a sober guy, because every time they drank, it was a big to do and you couldn't really put the bottle down. To see that quality in a person is like, man, what a great skill. I look at it as a skill. That's how twisted my addicted brain is. But that truly is a skill, to be able to just have a night, have one, instead of carrying it on in a huge binge or bender. That is a lot of discernment. That is also great wiring in the brain. Crafty electrician made that man when it came to his brain. But he always said that when I was smoking weed, I was smoking stupid shit or getting stupid. But weed can't make me stupid. Weed can't make me lazy. I don't smoke weed throughout the period of the day because, I know that I'll just kind of want to chill out a little bit more. I wait until everything that I need to do is done. The gym, the run, the work, If you do need weed on a day-to-day basis to just get by and you're smoking weed 24/7, you got a problem. But if you're disciplined, period. If you're lazy, period. It's up to you. Like, nothing is going to be an attributing factor to how much you take on and how much you are capable of. Smoking more than twice a week changes how you speak. This is because it impacts the basal ganglia. This is the brain center that's involved with movement. You can heal your brain by quitting weed and sleep, exercise, and eating healthy. You can recover your brain in a few months. I smoked weed for 3 years and quit 4 years ago. If you smoked or quit weed, what was your experience? Let me know below in the comments. I've smoked on and off through... I've smoked weed on and off through my period of consumption. Taking breaks here and there, forced and unforced. My ability to speak, I think, has always been the same. I don't know, though. That's an interesting thing to look at. Maybe one day I'll take a little break for a couple of months, and I'll see if I can produce a better podcast that way. Just kidding. I'll probably get distracted when I make some magnificent munchies. And I wanted to go through a list of great foods that you could cook or make. But as I clicked that thread just now, that thread is gone. It wasn't about cooking or anything like that. Oh, this is episode 53. I said 54. Last week was a year. Wow. That was shocking to me. I can't believe also that I really can't believe that thread is gone. It really threw me for a loop. This will probably be one of the more interesting moments in the history of my podcast, but I'm a little bit sad the thread's not there. I'm a little bit baked, to be quite honest, so my ability to speak might be hindering upon a few things. It's not the best thing that could have happened for me. I'll tell you that right now. I really would have preferred for that thread to be there because I love learning about the benefits of food, and I had a thread about healthy foods that you should fill your pantry with, because I think about this all the time. Since getting my apartment, like, what should I put in my fridge? In case I have people over, guests, like, or I want to cook for somebody. I basically just have what I prep for myself, and I'm barely ever home, so I don't have a lot of food here. So I was going to use that thread to build a little bit better of a shopping list, but I guess I'll use this time here to kind of put out, like, the things that I have gotten are really fruit, which if, like, somebody is hungry, they'll probably be pissed off if I just offer them an orange, apple, or banana, but I've been adding more fruit into my diet, and I am down to 205, 10 pounds since the race on May 18th. In a little bit under a month, I've lost 10 pounds. So things are tracking well there, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the consumption of fruit that I've been having, bananas, apples, oranges. Um, I'm pretty much keeping everything the same, and I don't know if that has anything to do with me not like having cravings in the middle of the night when I wake up, but I've been away from nighttime eating, and I've also not had any peanut butter in the house, and that's all good and that's all fine and dandy. I've been good. I've been a good boy with the peanut butter powder as well. I've kept that away. I just use it for my overnight oats, which is such a high protein content of breakfast. I really do spoil myself on a daily basis. No, I did not just urinate, but let's end the podcast on a good note. After going over some drugs, what they do to our brains, the positive and negative effects, let's take care of our bodies. And this is a thread that you're going to have to read along with, because we're talking about some healthy tips for us to know. And this is thanks to the fitness dads. I mean, what would a personal trainer be if he didn't put out healthy tips on his podcast? So what happens to you when you do this pose for a few minutes a day? The Malasana opens your hips and groin, stretches your ankles, lower hamstrings, back, and neck. It tones your abdominals. It aids in digestion and keeps your pelvic and hip joints healthy. It's ideal for prenatal yoga. Number 2, planking for 5 minutes a day has many benefits, improving your posture, core strength, arm strength, developing balance, strengthens your lower back, and helps flexibility. A plank is a staple in my workout. Every single day I lift, I end with a core circuit, and planks, 2 minutes of planks are part of my circuit. Maybe I should bump that up a bit. Everything I do, I bump up a bit. I mean, I'm bump. Number 3, this is the muscle that causes lower back pain and stiffness. This area should be stretched daily, especially if you sit all day. And this is your quadratus lumborum. It is in the lower back on both sides. It's right next to your erector spinae, where people get a lot of psoas pain. You can do side bend stretches to alleviate this issue. Now, what happens when you do the happy baby pose regularly? I'll tell you what, it relieves your lower back pain, stretches and soothes the spine, relaxes the body, and helps relieve stress and fatigue. And let me tell you something. You might say, how is this stretch helping my stress or my fatigue? I'll tell you how right now. After I wake up. No, but seriously, I don't know how, but I don't know how, like, per se, but what I do know is every time that I do this, I feel like I'm having so much fun. Even though you're, like, laying down on the ground and it looks like you're asking somebody to change your dye, it's very, very fun. But what happens when you do the child's pose for 5 minutes a day? It's very calming for the mind. It's great for your digestion. It elongates and stretches the lower back and opens up the hips, which is like if you're sitting all day in an office chair, you need to do things like this. You need to open up your hips. You need your lower back stretched. You need to lengthen the muscles out that have been shortened all day by your posture, by the way you sit. Did you know? This is about daily stretching. UC Davis reported that stretching increases blood flow to the muscle. It increases oxygen levels. It helps improve flexibility, improving your range of motion in joints, relieving tension in both the body and the mind. Did you know? Okay, I'm going to stop saying that. I feel like I've said that too many times while reading these. When you do this hip stretch regularly, which isn't really necessarily a hip stretch, okay, what he's got is his legs propped up. His legs are at a 90-degree angle while he's laying down, and there's a pillow between his legs. With a folded pillow between the knees, you squeeze the knees together and hold for 30 seconds, and then release. This will help with your hip, knee, and back pain, which is true. You grow the muscle. You strengthen the muscle in the area where you have these ailments, and they do get better. Can you believe that? Sometimes I can't, but I do. I feel like that's the reason why I've been able to, knock on wood, it is Friday the 13th as I record this. Well, I've been able to maintain such an enduring schedule between work and then training schedules when it comes to distance running, and then also weightlifting on top of that, playing recreational sports such as flag football, basketball, and yeah, there are times where I get sore, but I've never really gotten injured too bad, and I attribute that to daily stretching. I stretch and I take care of my body as much work that I put into it. I get done to it. I stretch myself daily. I go see a body guru once or twice a week, and also get help with passive stretching and different type of physical therapies, which are prehab. You have to prehab to avoid going to rehab. That's what we say in the world of athletics. Um, but yeah, stretching has helped me become the dog that I am. We got so much that has gone on over the last couple weeks, over the last weekend now. Now here we are Sunday, which was followed by Friday night's Indiana Pacers game. Can't wait to watch this tonight. The Pacers, I mean, people doubted them the whole way through the playoffs. I knew last year when they played Boston, even if they got swept, I knew that there was a team there, like a solid team that played like a team. It reminds me of Spurs, but it also reminds me of other Rick Carlisle teams. His time with the Mavs was not a time of poor coaching. I mean, the guy knows how to run a team. But you have that going on. You have the U.S. Open and Father's Day as this comes out. So happy Father's Day to all the papas out there, all you big dogs raising little pups. Roo, roo, roo. Happy Father's Day to you. My father will be treated to a nice meal, and hopefully, weather permitting, I gave my brother some baseball game tickets so he could take him out to the ball game. And like I said earlier about my dad, like I've always respected his discernment. He's just got the biggest heart in the world. He's the most generous guy who would do anything for his family. And I always say if I could be half the father that he is one day, I'd be the greatest father in the world. But that spot is already taken. He's been the ultimate provider when it comes to my family, making sure that necessities are covered. He's never really been wrong about anybody that I've brought around. He has a great judge of character, despite the fact that he might crack some crazy jokes from time to time. He does have the greatest judgment of character, and he's a great man. He's a great man who's extremely kind and who would do anything for anybody that he loves. No matter how much you piss him off or let him down, he'll always prop you up so you could give him a reason to be proud again. So happy Father's Day to Papa Bump. That's why I wear my middle name so proudly. And it's definitely where I got my work ethic from. The drive to be the man I am, the motor that I have is designed to the print of Patrick Cote. With that being said, I think that's a great note to end it on. I got to hit the gym and hit legs after a nice run through the streets of Bristol this afternoon. The sun was beaming on me, and I'm loving the sun. Nonetheless, hit me on my socials. I'm on Twitter, X, at Bump of TTS. I'm on Instagram at TCGXBump. I'm on Snapchat at Shondis. If you're going to add me, do not send me a picture of your wang, please. I'm sick of these things. What else is going on? I'm on TikTok. at bookmarkswbump. And as always, you can ask me for any fitness tips or advice. Send in threads that you'd like to hear my take on at bookmarkswbump@gmail.com. As always, it's all love, and God bless.
I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear to God I get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear to God I get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear to God I get higher, man.